Yes, Thomas the Tank Engine. It's a show that I'm sure a lot of you remember watching. Based on the Railway series books by Wilbur Dawdry, it went on to run for 24 seasons until meeting its end on January 20th, 2021. However, what you may not know is that the 1984 show created by Brett Arkoff was not the first time the Railway series was adapted for television. Well, if you're a Thomas fan watching this video, you probably already knew that. But for the people who don't know, sit back and relax as I tell you the story of the 1953 version of The Sad Story of Henry. The year is 1953, and the BBC wanted to make an adaptation of the Railway series. With the approval of editor Eric Marwat and Wilbur Dawdry himself, production on the adaptation began. The crew used old-gauge Hornby models for the trains and have the narration done by Julia Lang, making her the only female narrator in the entirety of the Thomas series. The program would be a live broadcast and it would air on June 14th, 1953. However, on the day of broadcast, it will all go downhill real fast. Early on during the broadcast, the Henry model would derail off the tracks. Then, viewers watched in shock as the giant hand of a crew member came down and set the Henry model back into the track. One lesser known fact about this program was that later on during the broadcast, the Edward model broke down and the crew had to use James instead, in place of Edward. After the broadcast ended, the event made news headlines, with thousands of newspapers talking about the broadcast and the problems that had plagued it during it. People were not happy with the unprofessionalism of the program, including Wilbur Dawdry himself. Dawdry was so furious with the program that he wrote and sent out an angry letter to BBC talking about the unprofessional nature of it. After this absolute disaster, it was decided to not do any more stories from the Railway series and cancel the television program. This event angered Wilbur Dawdry so much that he decided to not have any more adaptations made of his work for the next 30 years, until in 1984 with the Thomas series we all know and love today. Nowadays, the program is considered lost media. No known recordings of the program are known to exist, as making home video recordings back then was pretty much impossible. BBC were also notorious for trashing their film reels in the garbage, since back then media preservation was not as important as it is nowadays. The most famous example being the lost episodes of the William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton eras of Doctor Who. So, unfortunately, it seems like this piece of Thomas history is most likely lost forever. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of the 1953 adaptation. This was just a fun little video I wanted to make to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the Railway series. Hope you learned something new from this video. And if you didn't, well, I just hope you enjoyed the video regardless. This is Quincy209, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!